Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Satrio Suryan Kamil, and I am student in Institut Technology Nasional, and I would like to make a presentation about Ramadan, and we discuss about Center for Spiritual Life. Okay, next. As we know, as a Muslim, that a lot of people it's still not know about the Ramadan. An example that the person or the people still not obeying to the God because they didn't know about the Ramadan. So an example of not obeying the God could be someone who breaks the fast during Ramadan intentionally without valid reasons, engage in dishonest business practices, neglects their prayers, or mistreats the other despite the teachings of kindness and compassion in their religion. Okay, so where the people that usually cross the line to not obey the God? Maybe the people usually not obey to the God, maybe in whatever they do and anywhere they like, including their homes, workplaces, social gathering, or places of leisure where they may engage in action or behavior contrary to their religious belief or moral principle. So this is an example. The people cross the line to not obey the God. So examples number one is the warta. It because the person not commit with the God, and the people may engage doing mokel or batal in go to the water in the sunrise at the 12 at the 3 or anything they want because they're not commit and they're not want to worship to the God. Yeah, always always eating while Ramadan. Okay. Next example number two. It's make a liar, make a corruption with the others because the moral principle, including in their homes, their workplaces, or something corruption stuff. Number three is drink alcohol. As we know that an alcohol is haram and that is prohibited to drink it. That's that's the example of the cross the line to not obey to the gods. Okay, we discussed why people are not in cross worship. I already asked to the people that why people are not in cross worship, and then they explain the people may not increase worship due to various reasons such as lack of understanding or commitment to their faith, distraction for worldly affairs, preoccupation with personal or professional responsibility, or a decline in spiritual motivation, who are not usually following Ramadans. So the first one, as we know that not usually following Ramadan is non-Muslim, it because they are not have the schedule about the Ramadan. Okay, number two, health reason that you're unable to fasting due to health reason. Number three, that we have to discuss about the problem is the personal choice. That's the last point. Personal choice, choosing not to observe Ramadan. Okay. Yeah, and how people are not obeying to the God if it's Ramadan. Yeah, people may not obey their God during Ramadan, neglecting their religious duties such as fasting, prayer, and act of charity. And they may also engage in sinful behavior, such as dishonesty, immorality, or neglecting the needs of the other despite the heightened spiritual significance of the month. Okay, first, we talk about the Ramadan first. So, what is Ramadan? So, Ramadan is the ninth month of the calendar Hijriah. So, during this month, Muslims around the world fast and commemorate the first revelation that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad according to Muslim belief. Ramadan fasting is one of the pillars of Islam. So, next is the practices to knowing Ramadan. So, how to know knowledgement about the Ramadan is the practice. And it's the point of the doing a practice in Ramadan, such as fasting, increased prayer, Quran recitation, act of charity, and self-reflection to help strengthen one's relationship with Allah during Ramadan. So this is the harmony and brotherhood that the action about the practices doing in Ramadan. So Muslims typically increase their devotion, self-reflection, and worship during Ramadan by fasting from dawn until sunset, performing additional prayers known as Tarawih prayers, reading and reflecting on the Quran, engaging in acts of charity, and seeking forgiveness for past sins through repentance and supplication. So gathering at the mosque that to harmony and brotherhood of the Ramadan, sharing the food to the beggar or to someone who needs eat, and charity, give the give the money or something like that to the orphan, and increase tolerance. So this is the meaning why we have to know about Ramadan. So meaning of Ramadans. So Muslims strive to strengthen their relationship with Allah and seek spiritual fulfillment during Ramadan because it is considered a sacred month in Islam, providing opportunity for purification, forgiveness, and spiritual growth. So how to know about acknowledgement, fasting, so prayer, reflection on the Quran, and seeking forgiveness in Ramadan. So in fasting, from dawn until sunset. So we as an individuals experience physical discipline while also cultivating taqwa and consciousness and fear of God. So fasting teaches self-restraint, empathy for those who are less fortunate, and strengthens one's spiritual resolve. Number two, extra prayers. Engaging in additional prayers such as Tarawih prayers, performed after the night prayers, allow individuals to deepen their connection to Allah and seek spiritual rejuvenation. This prayer provides the opportunity for reflection, supplication, and seeking forgiveness. And number three, reflection on the Quran. So Ramadan is the time for increased recitation and reflection on the Quran, the holy book of Islam. By pondering upon its verses, individuals gain spiritual insight, guidance for righteous living, and a deeper understanding of their faith. So, lastly, is the seeking forgiveness. In, in Ramadan, it is time to repentance and seeking forgiveness for past sins. Through introspection, individuals identify areas for improvement, acknowledge their mistake, and earnestly seek Allah's mercy and forgiveness. So this process of spiritual purification help individuals cleanse their hearts and strengthen their relationship with Allah. So after we know about the acknowledgement about the Ramadan. So this to benefit an individual to seek to increase their taqwa in Ramadan. Number one is strengthening faith. Depending on connection to faith during Ramadan involve increased devotion to worship, including acts of prayer, Quranic recitation, and reflection by immersing themselves in spiritual practices. Individuals strengthen their faith, reinforce their belief, and draw closer to Allah. Number two, it's religious duty. So Ramadan is a fundamental pillars of Islam, and fasting during this month is obligatory for adult Muslims. By increasing their taqwa, individuals fulfill their religious obligation and demonstrate their commitment to Islam's principle. Spiritual renewal. Number three, Ramadan it's the time and opportunity for spiritual purification and renewal through fasting, prayer, and act of charity. Individuals strive to cleanse their heart and souls, seeking forgiveness for past sins and attaining a higher level of spiritual purity. So this is the aspect, what aspect an individual's spirituality are enhanced during Ramadan. Taqwa. As we know, taqwa is the concept Islam that is interpreted by some Islamic scholar as God consciousness. It has many further understanding and interpretation. Taqwa may mean piousness, fear of the God, love for God, and self-restraint, and spiritual purification. The purity of the self from vices, sins, and abandoning disobedience, and getting used to good deeds and the words. And self-discipline. So worshiping Allah, keeping in contact with Him and submitting Him, that is done by paying attention to doing obligatory act of worship well and cleansing your heart of any attachment to anything other than Allah. So this is conclusion about Ramadan. Ramadan holds immense significance for Muslim worldwide, offering a time of heightened spiritual devotion, self-reflection, and community bonding. Through fasting, increased prayers, Quranic recitation, act of charity, and self-discipline, individuals endeavor to deepen their connection with Allah, seek spiritual fulfillment, and adhere to the teaching of Islam. This sacred months serve as a platform for spiritual purification, renewal, and personal growth, enabling Muslims to strengthen their faith, cleanse their soul, and cultivate virtues that lead to righteousness ultimately. Ramadan embodies the essence of Islamic faith and provide believers with an opportunity to strive towards spiritual excellence, embodying the values of compassion, generosity, and devotion to Allah and His guidance. Okay, that's all to make a presentation, and thank you very much. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.